Okay, so welcome everyone to the Day Trading Live plus US stock market list. So we do this every Tuesday, and this is all about going through our pre-market watch list of stocks that we're going to be watching for today, trade setups we're going to be watching for today, what's going on in the markets, what's hot, and what trades are we going to be day trading today, basically. With that being said, we're just going to briefly go over what's going on in overnight indices. And then we're going to talk about what's hot in our Benzinga application. What are some of the movers going on right now? And then what am I looking at and what am I looking to day trade today, basically? So that's what we're going over here. Okay, so just to give you a heads up overnight. So mild gains in the futures market right now. ES is up a few points, but not much. Same with NASDAQ, just barely up. Europe is pretty much all red. Asia was fine. Asia was solid except for the ASX. But Europe was pretty much in the red across the board. And there is some pressure on the EAS, but nothing gangster right now. It's kind of stuck in this little channel we got going on here. And so this is a with trend channel here. And so buying the dips inside this channel is fine. But this time it's holding at the top here, which is interesting. It's never really held at the top of this channel. So it seems like there is some potential pressure for this to break out to the upside. And if there is, it could be a decent move. That's what's going on in overnight markets. In terms of what's hot in stocks, we got a few that are pretty strong. So in case this is your first time here, the way I look for what day trade stocks I'm looking for that day is the first thing I'm doing is a volume check, basically. And I want to see something with 600,000 shares in the pre-market or more. And I'm looking at stocks between $5 and roughly $50. And we got a few that are above that in the volume requirements. After I see that, then I'm looking at, what is the volume in relationship to the average daily volume? And then I'm looking at percent change to see what are some of the big movers. And we do have some big movers. So these are all the stocks that are 600K and above. We have some stocks that are moving 10, 30, 18, 55%, 63%. So those are the ones I want to focus in. So even though there's 30,000 stocks in the US market to trade, this scanner allows me to narrow it down to at least pre-market about, a dozen. And then from there, I start looking at the price action context and I start analyzing the technical analysis in the price action to see which ones, really excite me, which ones have good price action that I like and that keep me interested. And then I put them on my list, and those are the ones I'm going to focus on for that day. So it's very easy for me to understand every single day what stocks I'm going to trade. So looking at these right here, the ones that really stand out to me the most is BMRA. And we got why is it moving? Share trading higher after the company announced it received a CE mark for its COVID rapid allergen test. So it's got some positive news about a potential test on it. And it closed at 516, opened at 549, jumped all the way up to 792, and now we're at 682. So we're going to take a look at BMRA. FCEL is a trade I'm in right now, and it's one I'm looking to add to. We day traded that yesterday, did quite well actually on that with our live trading members. Plug also in the same space, even though it's not super hot in terms of, 17%, it's a pretty solid move. But it's not gangbusters like 30%. ACTC, 50%. Let's see if there's any news on that one there. Like green transition to resume trade. So it's already been halted pre-market. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Proterra, the company electric vehicle. This is, EV car technology is really hot this year. Some of the things that we talked about are going to be really hot this year. Bitcoin, cannabis stocks, EV cars, it's going to be hot. Through a transaction with ArcLight Clean Transition Group. So I'm wondering if ArcLight Clean Transition Group is a SPAC, basically. Yeah, okay, SPAC. Okay, so they're a SPAC. Okay, so, and it looks like they made a deal with a company. Okay, so that's why they're moving. So that's got legitimate positive news to that. We're going to take a look at ACTC. La Jolla Pharmaceutical. I used to live in La Jolla. It's by San Diego, basically. So it's just like 15 minutes north of San Diego. Nice price action structure. Is there anything out of LJPC that's going on? Big pharma industry in Southern California. Nothing that I'm seeing here. LJPC. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. No, no. Okay. All right. So we'll take a look at that. All right. So we got our list of what we want to look at, and we need to move you to the back. So let's start off with ACTC. That's the SPAC. Very good pre-market structure. This looks like this is a recently listed stock. So it's already, it opened at 9 and it's already at 12. So it's up about 30%. That's quite a lot. And that's just not including yesterday and not including today's price action. Now it's at 19.16. So it's doubled in price in a matter of a couple months, like a lot of SPACs are doing right now. So looking at this, let's see here. This is the prior pre-market highs. We're above the all-time highs. So we are in new territory at this point. Looking at this, since we're above the all-time highs, basically the way we got to look at it at this point, round numbers are going to be, resistance at this point, 20, 25, 30. Those are big round numbers. Every dollar, 21, 22, 23 is going to be, some sort of resistance potentially, but nothing crazy. We don't have a history here, so we don't know what resistance is going to be, but you better bet that 20 is going to be it. So we've pretty much opened and run up and held above VWAP the entire time. And this is a corrective pull. It's an impulsive move and a corrective pullback on the 5-minute. And so what I'm going to be doing is setting an alert for about 20 that if it breaks it and the structure looks good, then I'm going to get long. Otherwise, I'm going to wait for a little bit of a pullback. There's not, 13, that's a big dip. Yeah, I don't know if I want to wait till 13, which is the prior all-time highs, to get long. Maybe there's something here at 1652. Maybe, but so far this is impulsive correction. It might just hold VWAP and slam higher. So yeah, this is going to be on my list. And anything that's really, really strong, I keep it to the left of my tabs here, as you can see. So all these little tabs, whatever is on the left is what I'm focused most. Most people think from left to right, unless you're in a culture that's different. So that's what I focus on. And then the ones that are less important to me, I push them further to the right of my tabs. So this way, when I'm trading, I know which ones are the hot ones and then which ones I only need to check in with occasionally. So I'm focused on these first 3 tabs. And then the others I'm just kind of checking in with. Yeah, I feel like this is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to keep this on my list. I like this one right now. Volume is continuing to increase every single week. So yeah, this thing has potential for some room to run. LJPC, La Jolla Pharmaceutical, very similar structure, a little bit more of a corrective structure. So this is impulsive. Let's get out the pen. Here's your impulsive move. Here's your corrective move right here. A little bit wider than the other one, but it's holding VWAP for the most part. And so I like that. Where is pre-market highs are 670. Let's check in with that on the weekly. On the weekly. Okay, so weekly is right about here. It doesn't quite make sense from a price action standpoint. Like here would make much more sense as a potential resistance. So with that being said, let's mark this here. Yeah, so I can see this becoming kind of a resistance zone here. And pullback area for support around 557, maybe down a little bit to 539. So I'm going to look for a little bit of a pullback on this one here, potentially. Otherwise, looking at the 5-minute, which is still strong. And let's get this out of here. The potential lows of this corrective structure might offer a decent base. There were some buying interest that came off of the 9 EMA here. And so I'll set an alert here. If it kind of holds this corrective structure, I may take a dip buy off here, try and get out the top here or take some profit and then launch for the break. So that would be one potential play. Otherwise, I'm going to want to see this build in terms of pressure, and then break out and then trade that breakout. That's how I'd be looking to trade that one there. So I like this so far. Overall structure is good. Volume is 10.2 million. Yeah, some sort of news came out and it's not coming out. I don't see it quite yet. So 10.2 million, average volume is 238K. So this is definitely going to be a hot stock. ACTC 5.6 million, Average volume 404K, well above the average daily volume. So there's a lot of institutional interest. That's very good. Let's take a look at Churchill Capital, which probably is some sort of SPAC. Let's see if there's any news on this CCIV. Had something yesterday. SPAC pops on Lucid Motors rumor. Lucid Motors in talks to go public with. Okay, so they're SPAC and they're going to help bring another company public. Lucid Motors is another EV tech. So yeah, again, EV tech space right now is just super, super hot. So we got to be paying attention to this. So CCIV, let's take a look at that one. SPACs this year, man. Last year and this year, gangster. Wow, huge. Okay, so they gained heavily on the rumor, 30+%, and we're still strong pre-market. We're a little bit away from the weekly VWAP, but this is a new company, and that was yesterday's highs. And then here's pre-market highs. So yeah, how do I want to play this one? This is kind of what I'm thinking. There is some base at the bottom of this kind of corrective structure, which you can see here, but I'd rather see more of a dip to this prior all-time high here. So I'd like to see a dip right around here. Maybe, you know, this. But in this range is what I'm going to be looking at. I'd like to see a dip. We may not get it. This is kind of starting to curl up a little bit. So I'd like to see a dip to 14. If it does that, I'm going to set an alert. Let's see, I move this. Get out of here, squirrely squigglies. Set an alert here to potentially get long. Otherwise, if it just continues to build, then because this is tight here, I may be interested if this continues to build to take a breakout here and then go long for this. That is one potential play. Another one is to let this build up here, resist here again, and then start to build higher lows, and then build a breakout. So those are two potential ways I'd like to trade it on this one here. Three actually. So pullback, breakout, pullback of this high here, or let this build and take a breakout of that. We'll have to see how it builds. Let's see how it builds though in the market. Jason saying, what's a SPAC, special purpose acquisition company? It's a new way to go IPO that really started to take hold last year. And yeah, it's now become a big thing. It's a way to quicken the process of going through an IPO without all the underwriting and it's like a short way to go public basically. And so you have a special purpose acquisition vehicle, which is a company that helps other companies go public basically through a SPAC. And it's becoming more and more popular. 2020, it really started to launch. Some people think that there's a bubble in SPAC, which may be true. I don't know. But for right now, the price action is moving well. I want to be trading them, at least on a day trading perspective. So I like CCIV. What's the volume on this one here? Yeah, 14.2 million. We're 5+ times average daily volume. So again, this is going to stay on the list. This is hot. Let's take a look at FCEL. This is one that we traded yesterday pretty actively. Bought the dip, bought again. I'm trying to think of where we bought again, right around here, and then took profit almost at the highs of the day. It did have one more thrust there and then it faded. So we pretty much caught the opening drive or the most of the opening drive. Now that we're holding above this, which is this prior high here, you can see we'll kind of, so here's your prior high on that one here. We do have weekly VWAP here, so I wouldn't mind seeing a pullback to the weekly VWAP. There's also this structure here. So I wouldn't mind seeing a pullback here as well as a potential way to get long. That's kind of what I'm thinking about this one here. So maybe a pullback to 1632. I will set an alert there. But the 5-minute looks really, really strong, like it wants to hold so far. Yeah. So looking at the 5-minute, we have an impulsive and corrective structure, which you can see very clear. Impulsive move, corrective structure here. So as long as this, whatever that is, their price 1676 holds, that might not be that's not a bad location. It's not the best location because you really just have this here. This to me seems like a far better area because you have all of this kind of holding as meat. So to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see this break 1676. And then I think I'd want to look to get long in this zone. Obviously, looking at the volume, looking at time and sales, looking at the order flow in the DON, doing some tape reading, that will help. If it just all of a sudden opens the market and just dips right into here, I'd be a little cautious. I want to see what's going on with the time and sales and with the DON to see that. But I like this location a little bit better. I think this is a little on the aggressive side. So, yeah, this isn't a bad location. That's not a bad location. Otherwise, we're going to wait for a little bit bigger dip to the weekly view up, which held the overnight pullback here. And so that might be a good swing trading pullback here, maybe potentially watching that. So let's set an alarm here for 15. It's probably going to trail up a little bit. So let's go 1576. Yeah. Okay. So we got some alerts on FCEL. So ACTC, LJPC, CCIV, FCEL, all very hot stocks that we can be trading for today. How are we doing on time? 11 minutes till market open. All right, let's take a look at more of the EV space. NEO, super, super hot. We have options on NEO right now. We sold cash secure puts, I think at 54.5, and we're looking to sell some at 50. NEO has announced a partnership with NVIDIA. They're going to be using NVIDIA supercomputer chips in their cars. They're trying to make, they're working on making smart technology, basically. So self-driving cars. And so while Tesla is the first mover in that space, the technology that they're using they're not using LiDAR. They're not using some of the more advanced tech. And there's still some problems with that. Whereas other companies are saying, we're not going to go the cheaper route. We're going to go a slightly, more better tech route. And so they're focusing on really going to full self-driving, basically, and better tech, which would probably rely on LiDAR or something like that. More expensive, but much more safe. Teslas have had all kinds of problems with, random acceleration, running into certain things, not being able to read certain things, running into parked cars while in autopilot, so it's, I'm not a big fan of the tech. Stock is gangbusters, but not a big fan of the tech. So NEO is probably going to pull back a little bit. I personally am not looking to add to my NEO position. I already got options on it. First area I would look to add potentially is around here. So let's get that blown up. This is my first area that I'm probably looking to add. There's some potential here, but I think it's early. I think this pullback is going to extend a little bit, and I think it's probably going to do something like that. Once it breaks out of that, then okay, I'll feel a little bit differently. But I think it's probably going to pull back to a deeper support. This is a pretty wide, channel. If it was a narrow channel like this, then I would probably be watching it more closely, because a narrow channel like that means there's a lot less counter trend players in the market. And those things, you got to be a little more watchful. This one, when you have wide swinging channels like this, then that's a greater presence of counter trend players in the market. So that's kind of what I'm expecting on NEO. Probably going to wait a little bit, but I have options on it right now. So Plug is also another one. Whoa, you're off the chart, homie. Wow. We have been trading Plug since like 10. Insane. Plug is insane. So that was a pullback there. Let's put an alert there. It's kind of out of my price range. I generally only day trade stocks between 5 and 50. So I may do some options on this one here. But Plug is insane. What is the news on Plug? There we go. After Group Renault and Plug Power announced they signed an MOU, memorandum of understanding, to launch a 50-50 joint venture based in France by the end of H1 21. Truist Securities initiated coverage in the stock with a buy rating. Now it's a $60 price target. It's already above that. So they are partnering with Renault, French automaker, and they are going to be making electric cars. So yeah, Plug is going to be obviously boosted on that. I'd probably wait for a dip to 55. right around here. You get this nice building structure here. So I probably wait for a little bit of a dip here. This might run for today and maybe a second day play kind of thing. But yeah, I would wait. Here's a good base of resistance. And so let's see on that one there. What's the pre-market volume on plug? 5.4 million. So it's well below average daily volume. It's about a seventh. So I'm expecting plug should probably hit about 40 to 50 million shares today with the news. So, but yeah, I don't want to chase it at this point. Yeah, I definitely don't want to chase it. Some decent volume is fading a little bit. I'd wait for a little bit of a pullback. So I might sell some options on plug. I might already have some options on plug. I have to look. I think I might. If I don't, I should get some options on plug. Yeah. But off the charts on me, we've been trading since 10. And this is a huge weekly candle and extension. So yeah, I prefer pullbacks at this point instead of chasing. When you have build, then super large weekly candle, that generally means one of two things. That you're going to see another just blow off kind of move, or you're going to see it start to fade because it's extended so much on the weekly chart. You know, from the low was 30 and the high last week was 54. That's insane. It's almost 100% weekly gain in 1 week. This is why you trade stocks, because they move way more than Forex. No Forex pair is moving 100% in a week. So, but with these kind of things, they can often create these large ranges. And so, you know, because of the large ranges, the supports tend to be less shallow. You know, you tend to see deeper pullbacks. So here we got the monthly VWAP on this one here, pulled to that and then bounced. Yeah, you got a huge range to play with here. I'm going to be looking for deeper pullbacks on this one here. I don't see myself chasing plug at this point. I think it's just the potential upside versus downside is, you know, very different, very kind of skewed in this case. So we'll keep plugging the list. I like it better than NEO. ACTC is breaking 20. Yeah, I might have to get involved in that very soon, probably right around market open. We got 5 minutes of market open. What else do we want to cover? Bitcoin is rolling over. I think Bitcoin's in trouble right now. It had a decent bounce, a little bit of profit taking relief rally, but then it's starting to be sold off aggressively here. So I think Bitcoin's going to probably make its way back down to 30K again. Yeah, I think you're going to find Bitcoin going down to here again. And if it breaks that, then Bitcoin is in trouble. Short term. I think medium term Bitcoin trend is still, you know, I made my prediction late last year, early this year was that Bitcoin is going to hit 50K this year. I'm still holding that prediction. I definitely think it's going to do that. Might even hit 100K this year, but that's just, you know, my opinions on this one here. And I have Bitcoin through GBTC, which is a Bitcoin trust. And I'm also trading it via Mara with options and shares. So I think short term, though, it's in trouble. I think what you're going to see is definitely a pullback to this zone here. And if it breaks this, then I think you're going to see more profit taking in Bitcoin. So yeah, the areas I'd be watching, next potential areas or zones of support would be 30, 70 and 28.1. If it breaks 28, 27.8, 27.7, then I think you got much bigger unwinding in that. So looking at the weekly, that is not, yeah, this candle is definitely more scary. The fact that this candle is like, this is what we call an outside bar, and then you see immediate selling upon open, not good. So oftentimes these can be major reversals. It's going to probably, you know, test the bottom of this range of this weekly candle. And if it breaks that, you're going to see a lot of people take profit and gets, you know, probably some stops will be tripped at that point. You know, you could see a potential move all the way down to 20. So we'll see how this plays out. But Bitcoin right now, short term, is in a little bit of a trouble. Okay, do we have enough time? We have 3 minutes of market open. We can do one look at Jason has a question. So Euro USD 4 hour. Dollar right now is hot, so I wouldn't be trading against dollar right now. I mean, look at this move here. Impulsive, corrective, and inside that, you probably see pressure building down. Yeah, I wouldn't be trading against you dollar right now. Dollar's having a little bit of a rally. You know, dollar was getting hammered for a long time. Now it's in trouble. Now dollar shorts are in trouble. So I wouldn't be trading against that right now. It's just not my this is, I think that's your potential last location of being long, but I'm not a fan of it right now. I mean, you're hanging below the 20 EMA. It's going to need to break this kind of pressure, and it's going to need to break this right here to add, to really add some upside momentum. Right now, I think you're trading, this is just my opinion, but right now I think you're trading against short-term momentum. So that's what I'm seeing right now. How are we doing on time? Okay, market's going to open in 1 minute. I got to prepare for that and start trading live with my members. So I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you got something out of it about our pre-market watch list, potential trade ideas, how we scan for stocks to day trade, how we analyze the price action, what are the factors we're all looking for. I hope you learned something from this. If you did, smash that like button. We really appreciate it. That is super important to us. We do this for free. We don't get anything out of it. We're not paid to do this. So by you hitting the like button, it shows your support and allows us to keep doing this. If we don't get the support, we won't do this. So it's simple as that. We make plenty of money trading. We don't have to do this, and we do this because it helps our community and we want to help them. So hit the that's the live market open. So I'm going to trade live with my members right now in our live trading channel. So good luck to you on the trading day. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next Tuesday for this same show and with more light. We'll have the lighting all set up by then. Other than that, good luck trading today. Good luck trading this week. Be smart. Again, trading is risky. Don't do it until you've really demonstrated that you have a skill in place and that you have profitability. Don't trade with live money. It's taken me a long time to generate the performance that I did. So, understand that this is something that takes time, and this is not something we suggest jumping into. Practice skills first until they're established. Once your skills are wired, then you can start trading live after you've demonstrated that you can make money trading on demo. So with that being said, good luck trading today, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.